right, so just take your time and get comfortable in any way you would like. Oh, maybe come onto the back body, or you can stay seated. You can use pillows underneath you. I've chosen to kind of elevate my feet a little bit this morning and then put the pillow underneath my neck. Kind of a nice way to go. And yeah, just find a nice comfortable position. Close the eyes. And just let's begin to notice the breath that we arrive on our mat with this morning. Just notice how it makes its way into the body. If it's a rapid breath, let's begin to lengthen it just a bit. Just really get a sense of mindfulness of the body this morning and the breath. I'm going to do a scan of the body, just check in, figure out where we could use a little extra breath this morning and send the breath there. Envision the breath moving into those places in the body that might be holding a little extra tension. Just deepen the breath and envision it flowing there and releasing whatever we are holding on to. Releasing what no longer serves our higher purpose. Any tension, just let it go. Melt into the mat. Same with the mind. Notice where the mind is. Notice where the mind is. See if there is any tension that we are holding on to in the mind. And if there is, just same thing. Send the breath there. Envision whatever it is that is weighing on the mind, just lifting up and away, just floating up, floating away. Just take about 5 cycles of breath, just deepening the breath and lengthening the exhalation. Letting that ocean-like sound be created at the back of the throat as you exhale. And begin to send the breath into the wrists and roll the wrists, roll the ankles, and to find some movement in the body. Take a full body stretch when you're ready. Oh, stretch it all out. Nice, big, big, big stretch. And then float the hands up and overhead and down by the sides of the body. And just bend the knees. Bend the knees and just bring the soles of the feet on the earth about hips width distance apart. We'll lift up the hips for a moment and place them back down just to lengthen through the body. Just to lengthen. And then just begin to notice the low back. So bring the palms on the belly for a moment and notice if there is a substantial lift from the low back. And if there is, just envision that belly almost getting a little bit heavy and just asking the low back to settle a little bit closer towards the earth. Just take a full breath right here. Let it go and just release, soften. And then bring the palms onto the earth. And then just begin to have a nice little lift with the hips, just a little bit of a lift off the earth. And just place the hips back down. One more time, just a nice little lift, maybe a little bit more. And then bring them back down. Let's incorporate the arms. So take a nice breath in, a little lift with the hips. And float them back down one more time. This little flowing bridge. Just breathe. And go ahead and bring it on back down. Bring it back down. And then walk the feet out a little bit further so that the feet are right at the edges of the mat. And then just gently let one knee at a time come down and just windshield wiper out the knees. And then just pause. Let both knees just kind of drop towards the right. Just pause. Feel a nice stretch through that quadricep. Same thing, opposite side. Just let them fall over to the left. Nice stretch through the quadricep. And then just let both knees fall in towards one another. And just walk the feet out just a little bit. Just take a full breath right here. You can walk them out even a little bit more if that feels better. If you're getting a little bit more of a stretch. And then walk the feet back together. Walk them back together. Pull the knees in towards the chest. Just give a nice little circle on the low back. A couple times, couple directions. Open up those arms out to a T and just let the knees fall to the right. Let the knees fall to the right. Let the gaze stay up towards the sky. Or maybe bring the gaze out towards the left. Let that left shoulder get nice and heavy. Just take a big breath right here. You can always extend that left leg too if that feels nice. Really get an additional little stretch here. Just take a nice big breath. Envision the breath moving down the spine. Just let go of what no longer serves us on the exhale. Just wring it all out. Bend that knee and bring the knees back up through center. Just kind of take a moment, just rock maybe just a little bit back and forth just to lengthen through the spine and kind of reset things. And then let the knees fall towards the left. Fall towards the left. Let the right shoulder get nice and heavy. Maybe let the gaze come out over the right hand. And if it feels good, extend the right leg. Just take a big breath right here. Twist it all out. Wring everything out. Let it all go. Just bend the knee. Bring the knees back up through center. A little rock back and forth. Let's hug the knees, grasp onto them. Petey. And reach up. Let's find our happy baby pose. You can grasp onto the toes or the backs of the thighs, whatever feels good. Just find a happy baby pose that's comfortable for you. And just guide the feet together. Lift those feet up towards the sky. Just kind of pedal the toes out a little bit, one at a time. Maybe make some circles with the ankles. And then bend the knees, and your choice. You can either rock up to a seated position or roll over to the side body and make your way up. Woo! Just see what feels good. Bring your way on up to a nice seat. And you can always use a bolster or something underneath if you'd like to sit up a little bit higher and allow the knees to make their way down a little closer towards the earth. That works, whatever feels good to you. So just take a nice breath right here. Just a nice big full breath. Just envision the crown of the head lifting up. Very nice. And just let the right ear fall over towards the right shoulder to begin with. Just take a couple of little nods. You can grasp onto the head if you like to, just add a little extra something and push back with this left shoulder. Get a little additional stretch right through there, and then release it. Just kind of move the shoulder forward and roll the neck on forward. Roll it forward all the way over towards the left-hand side. Same thing, just let it drop. You can bring the head right there if that feels good. Give a little push back with the shoulder. Maybe a couple little nods. And go ahead and release it and just roll that neck a little bit. Roll it all the way around if that feels okay. And just drop the chin down towards the chest and let the shoulders make their way back. Just breathe right here. Nice and long through the spine. And go ahead and just roll the chin up and roll the shoulders back, maybe just a little bit, and just gaze towards the sky if that feels okay. And just drop the head back a little bit. And then bring it on back up. Let's reach up towards the sky. Lift up with the hands. Go ahead and lift them on up. And take a nice twist over towards the right, or little gecko fingers into the earth, and just roll that right shoulder up and back. A nice twist through the upper back body. And unwind it, gaze forward. Just bring the left hand over and reach the right hand up to the sky. Reach it up. Take a big side body stretch. And go ahead and float it on down. Let's reach the hands up again. And this time we're going to interlace the fingers. Oh, nice big stretch up towards the sky. Let the head fall back a little bit. And then unwind the fingers. And bend the elbows. Pull the shoulders back a little bit. So envision kind of pulling those shoulder blades together. And let's cross the right arm over the top of the left. And kind of bring those hands together if it can. If not, it's okay. But once we're in this, just begin to make some circles. So envision those shoulder blades really nice and open here. This is a good one if we're sitting a lot, or if you did do a nice big ride and in that one stable or stagnant position for a long time. Just open things up a little bit. We can hold a lot of tension in that upper back body. Oh, go ahead and release it out. Release it, just pull those shoulder blades together once again. Bring the hands down. Hello, P-Bear. Lift up with the heart, lift up with the chest. Exhale, let's take a forward fold. Let's take a nice forward fold. Let the head go. Let the head go. And then just gently roll up. You want to do yoga too, Poppy? You can come in here for just a minute, okay? You can come in and join. Okay, we're going to change the cross of the legs. There you go. Good job. You want to sit down and join? Okay. All right. Good job. So change the cross of the legs. Okay. Crisscross applesauce. And then this time we're just going to roll the shoulders up and back a few times. So roll the shoulders up and back. Nice big roll. Nice big roll with the shoulders. Change the direction of them. Just let them really move a little bit. And then go ahead and just let them gently melt down. Gently melt down. Let's inhale, reach the hands up towards the sky. Nice big gaze up. And then exhale, go ahead and find your twist. Just gaze back behind us. Nice twist out towards the left this time. And then gently unwind, reach up, reach all the way up with the left hand, and take a nice side body stretch. Very nice. Very, very, very nice. Go ahead and bring it back down. Bring it back down. Let's lift those hands up and interlace them. See if we can do kind of an opposite interlace from what we did the last time. So nice big interlace. Lift those hands up. Nice big lift. And then release. Kind of pull the shoulder blades back together. And we're going to cross the left arm on top of the right this time. Left arm goes up on top of the right. And then take a nice big circle. Nice big circle. Change directions. Change directions with that circle. Release it. Kind of pull the shoulder blades back again together. Let it go. Might need to kind of roll the shoulder blades a little bit, or shoulders, kind of work that out. And then lift up with the belly, lift up with the heart. Nice big breath in and exhale. Go ahead and take a forward fold. Go ahead and take a forward fold. Let it go. So you should feel a nice stretch in whichever leg is in front. You should begin to kind of feel a nice stretch through that hip. Just let it go. And then let's go ahead and just gently roll it up, gently roll it up. And then let's come onto the knees and the hands. Make our way into table pose. Make our way into table and just begin to move through some cat-cows. Lift the tailbone, lift the gaze, breathe it in. Exhale, round. Lift the tailbone and gaze. And then exhale, round. Couple more times. Nice big lift. Go ahead and round. And then nice big lift one more time. And go ahead and round. And this time kind of pause in that round. Open up the knees a little bit. Just really, really, really slowly sink your way back into a child's pose. So really get nice and long through the spine as we do this. Nice and long. Just let go. Let the head go. Let yourself completely be. Just kind of melt into the mat for a moment. Take a nice big breath. Let it go. And then lift up. Nicely make your way up. Plant the hands, so your choice, always an option, but let's make our way up into downward facing dog. And if down dog doesn't feel good, you can just stay right there in table. Now, this morning, I've got a blanket underneath my heels, which is a great prop that you can use in downward facing dog, just to give yourself a little bit of support. Kind of makes a kind of almost a restorative posture of a downward facing dog. So just shake the head out a little bit. Totally optional, but just something you can think about using, if you'd ever like to. I'm gonna shake the hips out a little bit. Shake the hips out a little bit. Take a nice bend into the right knee. And then kind of shift the hips over towards the right a little bit. And then opposite side, nice bend into the left knee. And just let the hips kind of fall over towards the left. And then back towards center. Just gently tiptoe up towards the front of the mat. Let yourself be in a nice forward fold. Just let the head go, let everything go. You can grasp onto opposite elbows. Same thing. Just still let the body totally go. You can keep a bend in the knees if that feels better to begin with this morning. Remember to breathe. Remember to breathe. Then go ahead and just drop the hands back down. And let's take the left hand and kind of wrap it over the right ankle and a nice bend into the left knee. Just reach up with the right hand. Reach up with the right hand. You should begin to feel a nice stretch through the outside hip. And then change sides. So nice bend into the right knee. Lift up with that left hand. Lift it on up. Go ahead and float it down. I'm gonna grasp on opposite elbows. See if I can change the stack of the arm a little bit. So see what feels like the way that you wouldn't normally stack the arms, and bring them into that position. And then release. Nice bend into the knees. Push into the feet. Rise all the way up. All the way up. Lift the gaze up. And bring the palms to the heart center. Flow through a couple of sun salutations. Just lift the palms, lift the gaze, breathe, really breathe. Exhale, forward fold. Palms lift to the shins. Exhale, fold. Little bend in the knees, rise up all the way up. Breathe it in. Exhale, palms to heart center. Once again, nice big lift, breathe in. Exhale, nice forward fold. Palms come up to the shins, pushing back a little bit with the shoulders. And exhale, fold, little bend into the knees. Step back 1 foot at a time, back into downward facing dog. And bring the knees down onto the earth. Untuck the toes. Sink back, child's pose. Let's take a full breath in our child's pose. Full breath out, let it go. And then slide forward, back into table. And then just begin to melt down and bring the belly all the way down onto the earth. And just shake the hips back and forth a little bit. Shake the hips back and forth a little bit. Lift up with the feet and just gently windshield wiper those feet back and forth a little bit. And bring them on down. Bring them on down. Let's bring the gecko fingers out underneath the elbows. Lift up just a little bit with the heart. And we'll dip one shoulder at a time. Nice big dip for our serpent pose. Work those shoulders and neck out a little bit more. And then just gently bring it down. Bring the hands underneath the shoulders. Make your way back up into your table pose. And tuck the toes back into downward facing dog. Back into your downward facing dog. Just lift up with the right leg here. Nice big lift with the right leg. And gently step the right foot forward. Step the right foot forward and we'll flip our mat. I like to flip the mat, give a little extra cushion underneath the knee, totally optional. Use a blanket too. Right knee underneath right ankle underneath the right knee. And then just lift up. Let's square off the hips here. Square it off. Take a moment. Lift the palms. Breathe in right here. Pause for your exhalation. Let the shoulders melt down a little bit. One more breath in. Exhale. Plant the palms. Sink back. Lift up with the right toe. Nice and long through the body. And then exhale. Forward fold. Nice forward fold. Go ahead and bend back into that knee and just plant the foot. Tuck through the left toes and lift up with the left knee, and then just step forward just a little bit so that the left foot is at a 45-degree angle. And then we're going to windmill all the way up to warrior two. All the way up to warrior two. Sink down into that right knee. Just gaze out over those right fingers for a moment.
Take a nice full breath in here. And then begin to straighten through that right knee. Straighten through the right knee. Gently let the right palm come down to the right shin and lift up with the left palm. And then maybe even let the gaze come out over the left or up to the left palm. Totally up to you. See how it feels. And then float the hand back down and let's lift up with the right palm. Lift it on up. Get a nice stretch here. And then bring it on down. And we're just gonna step forward just a little bit more with this left foot. Square off through the hips. You can use props here. If you have blocks, they're wonderful to use here. But otherwise, nice big breath in. And just exhale and take a forward fold out over that right leg into a pyramid pose. You can keep the hands in front of you, maybe just on the thigh. You can bring them back behind you if that feels good as well. But square off through the hips, kind of scissor those hips together almost. Then go ahead and bring the palm down. Bring the palm down or bring them back onto the hips, whichever feels good. And just rise back up. Go ahead and rise back up and just step all the way to the front of the mat. Kind of walk it out a little bit. Walk it out a little bit. Big breath in. Nice big breath. Exhale, take that fold. Lift the palms to the shins, lengthen through the back body, lengthen through the back of the legs, and exhale, fold again. Little bend into the knees. We'll step into down dog. And we'll bring the knees down to the earth, and we're gonna sink back once again into our child's pose. Open up the knees a little bit. Let the head go. Just take a breath. Just calm the nervous system. Calm the heart rate if it's elevated. And then inhale, let's make our way back into table. Back into table, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. We'll lift up with the left leg this time. Step it through between the palms. Give it a little help if it needs it. Step it through. I'm gonna flip my mat over to make some cushion for my right knee. And bring the right knee down onto the earth. And then begin to rise up. Lift. Nice full breath in. Pause here for your exhalation. One more breath. Go ahead and bring the hands down. Sink back. Oh, nice big breath. Exhale, fold. Full breath here. And then gently come back down onto that left foot. We're going to tuck the right toe underneath, lift up with the right knee. Step forward just a little bit. 45-degree angle and windmill open. Warrior two. So kind of check in with yourself. Let that gaze make its way over the left fingers. And then begin to straighten through that left knee. And just gently bring the left hand down onto the left shin or onto a block. And lift the right hand up. And maybe lift the gaze. Totally up to you, whatever feels good on the neck. And then go ahead and float that. Oops, actually float the hand down, but we're gonna lift up with the left hand. Oh, so I have a reverse triangle here. And then go ahead and bring it on down. We're gonna step forward just a little bit more with the right foot. Square off through the hips. Let that gaze come down, and then exhale, just over that left leg into your pyramid pose. Let it go. And then just go ahead and release the hands. You can rise back up. Go ahead and step all the way to the front of the mat. Kind of shake it out a little bit. Shake it out. And let's lift the palms one more time. Breathe in and exhale. Forward fold it out. Forward fold. Palms up to the shins. Lengthen. Plant the palms. Go ahead and step back one foot at a time into your down dog. Bring the knees down to the earth. And then this time, we're just going to sit back, but we're going to roll on up and bring the feet out in front of us. Just have that strap handy. And so you don't have to use the strap necessarily here, but it's a nice little prop to use. So we are going to begin with the right foot. And just kind of bring that left foot right on inside here. And I'm going to use the strap around my right toes. I'm just going to wrap the strap once or so. Now, you want to be cautious here. You don't want to use the strap to really crank yourself into it. Just let it gently assist you. We don't want to push ourselves any further than we should. So especially with this hot, humid weather, it's easy to do. So roll the shoulders back a little bit, lift up nice and tall, and then exhale. Take a forward fold over that right leg using your strap. And then you can always use the gaze to lengthen yourself even more. So if you gaze out over the toes, it will give you a little extra length. Then when you feel that special spot that you're not lengthening anymore, just let the head go. Let yourself completely be. And then release the strap gently. Gently roll up. Let's change sides here. So bring that left foot out and right foot in. Same thing. Now one side might be significantly different than the other, so just kind of honor that. Notice it and honor it. And wrap the strap a couple of times. Roll the shoulders up and back. Nice big lift. Same thing. Kind of gaze out over those toes. Don't go beyond the point of needing to. This leg is just a little tighter for me, so just going a little gentler here. Just let the head go when you feel ready. And breathe into it. Let it go. And then go ahead, just rise on up, rise on up. We'll release the strap. Release the strap, kind of shake it out a little bit. Roll those shoulders out. And then just gently make your way back into your table pose. So we are going to prepare for our pigeon. So your option, if you'd like to do pigeon, the classical pigeon way, which I think everybody here might want to, but otherwise the back body is a perfect option as well. So we'll start out just in the classical pigeon form. You can either start from table or down dog, your choice. Lift up with that right leg. Bring that right knee up towards the right ankle, or excuse me, the right wrist. And just square off through the hips. I like to scooch back just a little bit with my hips to make my way into here. And then when you're ready, feel free to use any kind of a prop that you'd like. You can always use a prop underneath the hip if that feels good, but Just let go. Let yourself be. Now, if this doesn't feel good, the other way to do it, which is also a beautiful, beautiful hip opener, is by crossing the foot over and reaching through and grasping onto the back of the left thigh, totally optional. Whichever feels good to you. So if you're in that pigeon pose, let's go ahead and tuck through the left toe and lift up with the left knee. Get a nice little extra stretch there. Little extra stretch. Go ahead, plant the hands into the earth. Reach up with that right foot. Oh, maybe stack the hips and kind of circle it out a little bit. And bring the foot down to the earth. And lift up with the the left foot. We'll just automatically go to the opposite side here. And bring the left knee up towards the left wrist. Kind of scooch back with the legs. And then exhale. Take a nice forward fold. Nice forward fold. Let it all go. Let it all go. And again, if you'd rather be on the back body doing this, just cross the opposite leg over and move through the same way. And then I'm going to tuck through my right toe and lift up with the right knee. Get a nice stretch right there through that hip. Bring the palms underneath the shoulders. Lift up with the left foot. Maybe stack it up and over. And then I'm going to bring my way down and on up. And I'm going to make my way back onto the back body. So join me when you're ready. Take as much time as you'd like in your pigeon pose. It's such a wonderful, glorious pose. So take as much time as you'd like. And once you've made your way onto the back body, take your time. Plant the feet into the earth. Just directly underneath the knees, hips distance apart. And I'm going to lift the hips again. So your choice here, if you'd like to use a blanket or a bolster and just do a restorative bridge, that's an option. So this is one way you can experience it. A block's another way. Or put those shoulder blades right underneath and connect the fingers, and you can just make your way into a bridge pose if that feels okay. So two options, either a restorative bridge or a regular bridge. Just make sure it feels okay on the back body. And then release the fingers, untuck the shoulder blades, and just one vertebrae at a time, just bring your way down onto the back body again. Bring the knees in towards the chest. Nice big hug. You lift the feet up towards the sky, kind of pedal things out a little bit. Roll the ankles out. Another happy baby pose. Rock it out. And then guide the feet together. And let the soles of the feet come together and just make your way into Supta Baddha Konasana, reclined bound angle. And if that does not feel comfortable, that's completely okay. You can also walk the feet apart to the edges of the mat and let the knees come in together. So two options, completely up to you. And just close the eyes. Just take a couple of breaths wherever you're at. When you're ready, make your way into your final posture, your Savasana. Just take your time. If there's another pose that the body's just really wanting to take this morning, go ahead and enjoy it and take it. But totally up to you. Whatever feels good. Oh. Give the knees a little bit of support if you're coming out of Supta Baddha Konasana, and take your time, and when you're ready, just make your way into that final resting posture, your Savasana. And just let everything go. Use any props you'd like. You can use a blanket or bolster. Always use an eye mask too. Sometimes that's a nice little prop. Lavender filled eye mask. Sounds nice. Just close the eyes. Come back to just your normal breath. Just let the body absorb all the benefits of our practice this morning. Just stay here in your Savasana for about 10 minutes or so if you can, just to really let yourself be. Just remember throughout the day to come back to the breath, to be mindful of the breath and to be mindful of the body. Just to be mindful of the moment. I'm so grateful to all of you for coming and sharing your practice with me this morning. I truly am. Thank you. And be safe and be well and have a wonderful, wonderful week. Enjoy this beautiful weekend. Namaste.